Hello, everyone, and welcome to this episode of Inside Out. I would like to thank all of you for all the support you've given me for these episodes of Inside Out and also for your comments in different platforms of the social media. For all the viewers watching this episode, make sure that you subscribe if you haven't done so far and also click the like button, and your comments are most welcome. So let's get on with it right now. You heard commentators scream excitedly, "Oh, what a Jaffer! He's done him in, stumps go cartwheeling." But the bowlers in domestic circuit and also for a while in international circuit had to bowl a lot of Jaffers at this particular batsman who was going to be our guest tonight. He countered them elegantly with a lot of aplomb. He churned out runs by the tons. At the end of the day, the bowlers would probably feel it was symbolic that he was called Jaffer himself. So that's why it was difficult to dislodge him in the middle. So our guest tonight is Wasim Jaffer, who, as you know, was a colossus in domestic cricket. But let's not forget his record in international cricket was not very modest either. He had the distinction of scoring two double centuries in Test cricket. That's not a minor feat at all. So let's get on with it, and it's my pleasure to welcome Wasim. Wasim, welcome, and nice to have you on the show.
Thank you, Ram. Nice to be here.
And also, I'd like to thank you for making the time during what is a busy phase for you now. You're preparing your state team for the upcoming domestic tournaments.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, we had a brief camp and we've got our probables out, and hopefully we'll be flying out soon for the preparation camp.
Must be a great relief, isn't it? Some action at last. The boys will be happy, you will be happy.
Definitely. I mean, we were looking forward to it. It was getting delayed after delayed, but there's some sunshine at the end of the tunnel, and hopefully the players will be looking forward to it. They've waited far too long, and hopefully some good cricket will be on the show.
Of course, all the best for the season. I'm sure your side will do well under your guidance.
Thank you very much.
And let's get to Wasim Jaffer now. You've been displaying a terrific sense of humor on the social media of late. Was this quality always there in you?
I believe that I had a bit of sense of humor. The people or the players who were close to me, uh, I had a bit of laugh with them, but it is just perceived that I've got a very reserved personality, which I think I do have. But there's a bit of sense of humor in it, and Twitter has given me a bit of platform to showcase a little bit of that, and I'm making people smile a little bit, so which is not bad.
Of course, he didn't do that on the field. Of course, the bowlers will bear testimony to that particular comment of mine. It's going back to your playing days. You are a lot more focused on churning out runs by the tons rather than displaying your sense of humor.
Yeah. I mean, it's a serious business out there. So, and I had the passion. I had the passion to play cricket, and obviously wanted to play for Mumbai, play for Indian team, and obviously it's a hard grind. So luckily, I could achieve all those dreams, even for a brief moment. But it was a terrific journey.
Now, what was the secret of your sustaining the success over a long period of time? There are a lot of players who do well for a phase or probably for a few seasons, but yours, right from the start until the day you called it quits, the train kept on going at the same speed and with the same consistency.
I think, like I said, the passion to play cricket, that is the only thing I knew all throughout my life, is to play cricket and to score runs. There was nothing else, something that I learned or something that I wanted to do other than playing cricket and scoring runs, irrespective of where I was playing, whether it was for Mumbai, for my corporate team, for my club in Mumbai, or for any other state. Like later on, I played for Vidarbha or Indian team, so that is the only thing I knew, and that was the bread and butter for me. That is the only source of income. If I do well, then I knew that I'm doing well in life also. So that is something which I didn't wanted to leave, and that passion uh, stayed there. I mean, the motivation never left me, even if I was dropped from the Indian team, even if I had to come back to the domestic circuit and go through the grind again and
Yeah, you
again,
can
I think that didn't demotivated me that much. Like the few players who find it hard to come back to the domestic circuit, but that didn't happen with me. So fortunately, that love stayed with me throughout, and obviously, like I said, when I moved to Vidarbha, that passion grew a little bit because when you transform a team like Vidarbha, that helps, and that helped me to carry on my career for a few more seasons.
Yeah, we'll talk about your stint with Vidarbha a bit later on. Now, talking about the fact that you were consistent for a long period of time, one can have the talent, one can have the technique, and one can have the desire to do well. But there's also this thing called the mental skills.
It did. It did. I think, I was not that matured. I think if I look back, I can say that I was not that matured as a player when I played for the Indian team, or even when I had a bit of success, even at international level. Uh, you know, like you also know that a batsman or a spinner take a little bit of time to mature and to know their trade. But when I unfortunately, was coming to terms with my game, unfortunately, I didn't get a lot of chances after that. But definitely, I mean, you can have all the skills, you can have all the talent, but if you don't have the mental ability, then it's hard to succeed at the top level, and not just in cricket, but any other sport. So that mental, what goes through your 2 years is very, very vital.
Yeah, you have a very good record, in fact, in international cricket. It can't be called bad by any means. As I mentioned in the introduction, you got a couple of double hundreds in Test cricket as well. Where did you think you missed out on, playing a lot more?
I think if I look back, I think I was not that consistent. I had, couple of double hundreds. I even got 100 in South Africa. I had 100 against England. So I had very decent scores. But unfortunately, in between that, I feel that I was not that consistent enough, which I needed to be if I wanted to succeed consistently at international level. And that was the reason. I mean, you could say that I should have been given a few more chances. I should have been given, few more. Even after my successful stints at domestic circuit, I was not looked back after that. But looking back, I feel that I should have been a little bit more consistent.
Yeah, I think you're trying to be harsh on yourself. You're being modest in whatever you're saying now. But a player getting a couple of double hundreds and also a couple of hundreds, he needs to be backed a bit, especially when form deserts him, because he's got it in him to do very well in international cricket.
Yeah, I think so. I think when I was dropped from 2008 from the Indian team, I had a very successful season straight away. Even in coming years, I had a lot of runs in the domestic circuit, but unfortunately, I think I felt that the doors was completely shut. I don't know for what reason, because I was still in 30s, early 30s in my age, and I still had a lot of passion to play, and I was keep scoring runs in all the domestic games. But unfortunately, after 2008, I felt that they've had enough of me, and then they were looking beyond me, which was something which I thought was very harsh, and I regret about it a little bit.
The comeback trail can be very difficult, isn't it? Because once you're discarded from the national side, they would look at a lot more things from you, because they would have thought that he needs to improve on a lot more aspects, be it your physical fitness, be it your technique, be it your skills otherwise, as against a player who comes, fresh, because he'll be given a little bit of leeway, isn't it?
Yeah, I think when you come back into the Indian side, or for any matter, I mean, comeback is always difficult because you are expected to perform straight away. And fortunately, I always did. I always whenever I made my comeback, I had two or three comebacks, and I scored runs straight away. Uh, I got 100 against England. Even before that, in West Indies, I got double hundred, and I got 80 odd before that. So whenever I got an opportunity to come back, I always scored runs at the start. But like I said before, in between those, I felt I should have been a bit more consistent. And obviously, once you taste that cricket at international level, uh, people are expecting that once you come back, you are a better player than what they saw. So there's always that pressure on you to perform, which is understandable.
We've seen quite a few players, finding it very difficult to make a comeback. Would you like to, say a few things that they need to adhere to make a comeback? Because you've done it quite a few times and successfully at that.
I think, I mean, looking at my career and looking at, the kind of experiences I've got, I mean, all I can say is you need to start afresh. You can't come uh, in the Indian team if you are making a comeback with the baggage behind you, and that is very, very vital. You need to start on a fresh slate, and don't put too much pressure on yourself because when you're playing international cricket, there's so much pressure on yourself. So you need to be yourself, and you need to back your game irrespective of what. I mean, the way you have been playing in domestic circuit or the way you have scored runs, you need to back that game, and you don't need to put too much pressure on yourself, and that is going to harm you than going to help you, I feel.
Carrying along those lines, it's also important that the player doesn't try to think of changing his game once he starts, making his mark felt. He's on the verge of making it an Indian team, and eventually, when he gets selected, there's no need for him to change his style of batting or the bowling variations that he had to get to that point.
I think I won't say a change, but you need to keep evolving as a player. I feel with the needs of international cricket, because the cricket is when you play at international level, the standard is going to be high, and you need to keep evolving as a player. Even a player like Sachin Tendulkar or Mahendra Singh Dhoni, if you see from how he started to what he had become later on. He evolved as a player. It's not necessarily he changed, but he evolved. He improved his defensive game. Uh, and Sachin, obviously, with the kind of injuries that he had to change his style of run making uh, to what he had started. He was so aggressive at the start, but some things somehow you need to find a balance, and similarly a lot of other players like Virendra Sehwag also, I mean, he evolved as a player. So he started as a middle order player, and then he had to adjust himself as an opening batsman and become the one of the greatest openers of the Indian team. So not necessarily change, but you need to evolve and understand that if you need to survive in international cricket, some things you need to tamper with, and you need to have an open mind for it. Sometimes I feel the players are, mentally very blocked to, change something or, do something about it. They just want to play the way, and that is not, I feel that is not the right attitude. You need to keep your minds open. You need to speak to players and your senior players, and keep learning, and I feel that is very, very vital.
So, am I right in presuming that it needs to be done only on a need basis, not otherwise?
Yeah, I mean, if you feel like if you're playing in South Africa, you need to do certain things to score runs. If you are in England, you need to do certain things. So that is something which you need to understand. You can't go with the notion that I've scored runs in India and that is how I played and that is I'm going to play everywhere. So I feel you'll find it hard to taste success regularly.
At what point did you reconcile to the fact that your cricket is going to be restricted to only domestic cricket?
I felt when I made my move to Vidarbha in 2014-15, I think that is the season I felt, you know, uh, I was in my mid 30s, and even after scoring lots of runs in domestic cricket, I felt that, the doors are, looks like it's completely shut. And I felt that this is a good time to move out of Mumbai also because there were a lot of youngsters coming through at that time, and I thought, if I'm not going to play for India, there's no reason for me to stay here and, block a youngster's place. So in 2014-15, I felt that, this is it. I have to keep playing domestic cricket and keep enjoying it and find a new challenge for.
No, you sort of, for the time being, just leave your passion aside, set your passion aside, and tell me how difficult it is for somebody who's had reasonable success in international cricket to reconcile to the fact that it's going to be only domestic cricket, and how difficult it is to continue playing domestic cricket.
I don't know. I can't speak for somebody else, WV. But like I said earlier, it didn't matter to me, to be honest. To come back into the domestic circuit and go through all that grind. I enjoyed being with a lot of my teammates in Mumbai, and even in Vidarbha. I made a lot of good friends, and working with those youngsters. So, the kind of mentality that I had, I would find it hard for anybody else to be, like me, to go through that grind. I find a lot of youngsters, even at this age, when they are in their late 20s or early 30s, they find it hard to play Ranji Trophy even now. So, leave alone them playing at, late 30s or early 40s. So, I find it really hard for somebody to have the same mentality as me. So I can't speak for them, but uh, like I said, that was my love, scoring runs, irrespective of where I was playing or which team I was playing. That is something which I loved, and I kept, like I said, I kept my mind open, and I still wanted to improve. I still wanted to become better, even if I didn't, get an opportunity at international level. I accepted that.
I definitely won't force you to speak for somebody else, Wasim, but you said what needs to be said. Anyway, moving out of Bombay, which has given you everything, right from the start, they encouraged you, they nurtured you, and gave you a lot of opportunities. You loved playing for Bombay. There's a lot of success that you had as a player and as a captain. Must have been a very difficult, decision to move over to Vidarbha, wasn't it?
It was. I mean, Mumbai, I am known as a Mumbaikar, and I've got so much success from Mumbai. Everything that I achieved was from Mumbai. So it was indeed very difficult. But there comes a time in every cricketer's career that you need to make some strong decisions. And I thought, before Mumbai probably thinks about, dropping me, or, making me say that you need to rest, or, make a way for a youngster. I thought it should be other way around. That and I've seen a lot of senior players being treated harshly a little bit in Mumbai, because it is such a cutthroat competition. Every youngster who comes in, at least in my time, was not only coming in to play for Mumbai, but he was looking for an Indian cap. So in that sense, I didn't wanted to stop any youngsters from coming, because when I was making my decisions to leave from Mumbai, Shreyas Iyer was coming through, Surya Kumar Yadav, Prithvi Shaw, Sarfaraz Khan, all these youngsters were coming through. So I thought, it's best for me to move out of Mumbai, and also taste a little bit of challenge, going out as a professional, and, finding a little bit of challenge for myself if I want to continue playing in domestic circuit.
You were an accomplished performer. You have been a seasoned pro. You moved over to Vidarbha. What are the kind of adjustments you had to make, and what challenges did you sort of had to overcome there?
I think first of all was the expectation. When you go to a new state, people expect you to perform straight away, and uh, uh, people expect results straight away, more than anything. And when I moved to Vidarbha, they had already got, I think, Badrinath there, Ganesh Satish as a professional there, and they all also had few domestic players, uh, but they wanted to improve. They wanted to uh, play at the knockout level of Ranji Trophy, or even in the white ball cricket. So they had a bit of vision, and that is one of the reason why I moved to Vidarbha, because I didn't want it to go to any state just for the sake of money or just the sake of playing. I wanted a challenge. I wanted to go to a state where I can make a mark as a professional, and I contribute to their success or to their youngsters. So that in that way, Vidarbha suited me perfectly, because it was close to Mumbai. It wasn't a very big travel from here. And like I said, before I moved, they played in Ranji Trophy quarterfinals. So their officials, their management had a bit of vision of improving their cricket. And expectation I feel is the biggest thing. Which they expect. You score 1,000 runs, you probably make them come into the Ranji Trophy knockouts, or probably lift the Ranji Trophy, make a lot of changes in the attitude of the youngsters, which I feel I did. In time that I played for Vidarbha, myself and Chandrakant Pandit, Ganesh Satish, even Badrinath made a contribution. And later on, they went on to win a couple of Ranji trophies and two Irani trophies, which is not a small feat at all.
Of course, as coming to that, you didn't let them down because your contribution as a batsman and also as a mentor to the youngsters in the side was priceless, as it turned out.
Yeah, like I said, I feel the biggest decision for them was to get a good coach. And luckily Chandrakant Pandit was available when Mumbai uh, thought of leaving him, and the Vidarbha grabbed the opportunity. I thought that was a master stroke from them, because I feel somewhere a lot of domestic teams or domestic players need a coach like him. Uh, I personally feel that the youngsters somewhere need that discipline in them. They need to be told, where they stand, or if they make a mistake, they are sometimes feel they are larger than the game at some point. So I feel you need. I mean, Chandrakant Pandit obviously is to an extreme level, but somewhere I feel that you need a coach like him to straighten a lot of players out, and he produces results. So you got to give it to him.
Yeah, at the end of the day, as far as my good friend Chandu is concerned, a lot of people may not be happy with his style of functioning, but his results speak for themselves, don't they? Because wherever he's coached, he's produced results, and he's been a very positive influence on the teams that he's handled.
Definitely. I mean, for Mumbai, for Vidarbha, and for Rajasthan, and all the other teams that he's worked with, MP. So he's given results, and at the end of the day, you are expecting a result from a coach or a captain or a professional player. So he delivered.
You were brought up to meet the demands of the traditional format of cricket, that is the duration game. Now, you did extraordinarily well in that format. Again, stating the obvious. What are your views on the T20 format?
I think it's the need of the hour. I feel T20 is here to survive, and it's here for a long time. And I feel a lot of youngsters nowadays look up to T20 cricket, IPL cricket, and I feel it's nothing wrong in that, because I feel IPL gives them the biggest stage to perform, and throughout the Ranji Trophy or domestic season, they keep looking for the auction, and they keep looking for an opportunity. And I feel when you have a bit of a decent season in Ranji Trophy or domestic season, uh, followed by a good IPL season, you are straight away in the mix of playing for the Indian team. So there's nothing wrong, because you are mixing with one of the best players of Indian team and one of the best players in international cricket. And if you perform well there, then you deserve to play at least white ball cricket. In my mind, definitely not Test cricket, but it gives you that freedom, and it makes a lot of youngsters, play fearless cricket. I feel, the apprehensions of playing in front of 40,000 people or international stars, that fear goes away from them. And I feel that, there's nothing wrong in them uh, giving IPL a lot of importance over first class cricket, but at the same time, they don't need to avoid first class cricket. It's all right to give importance to IPL, but they don't need to avoid the domestic circuit and the 4 day stuff. At least till they are 30 plus, and till their fitness doesn't give in. They need to look into to fit into all three formats. That is the only thing. There's nothing wrong in giving importance to IPL.
Prefer IPL or T20 format by all means, but don't ignore the longer version of the game, is what Wasim Jaffer has to say. I think it's very nicely put. I would also endorse that view. What was your experience in the IPL as a player when you were with the RCB?
I think, it was fantastic. I think T20 cricket was just starting in India. IPL was such a mega hit, and a lot of I feel a lot of players were also finding their way in with T20 cricket. Even the franchise, they didn't knew much about T20 cricket, and I think nowadays even the franchise is very professional. The players have become very professional. They go about in a very solid manner, and it's getting stronger and stronger. There's a lot of thought goes into the franchise. They've got their talent research team, they've got their support staff, working on finding the right balance for their team, working on the youngsters, and teams like Mumbai Indians, CSK, the teams that have done well, they do a lot of groundwork, and they get the success. There's no luck involved, I would say. There's no magic to it. They do the hard yards and they reap the rewards.
Yeah, you like to bat for hours and hours, and 20 overs, even if you batted the whole innings, it wouldn't have felt much for you. You wouldn't have probably felt very satisfied. Would you have enjoyed playing a lot of T20 cricket?
I think if it had come in my time, definitely you would have to adapt to it. But I think it came a lot later, obviously, in my career. But I mean, you got to adapt to it. I feel that is the biggest challenge for today's youngsters to adapt to all three formats and not avoid any other formats. I mean, I see a lot of youngsters enjoy white ball cricket, but they avoid the red ball cricket or the days cricket. So that is my only worry for the youngsters coming up is that is fine to enjoy the white ball cricket, but not avoid the hard yards of 4 day, 5 day cricket. Because end of the day, you become great players when you score runs or take wickets in international cricket in test matches. So there's nothing wrong in having big contracts in IPL or presiding your interest in shorter formats, but don't avoid uh, the longer formats too.
There was another Jaffer, Arman Jaffer, who made waves at the junior level a few years ago. Obviously, I don't know if many know he's your nephew. How is he faring these days? Because I've not followed much of his progress in the last couple of seasons.
Yeah, I think he played 6 or 7 Ranji Trophy games. WV. I think he hasn't got the kind of runs uh, that he wanted to. He didn't able to cement his place so far in Mumbai team. He's got runs at under 19 level, under 23 level, but unfortunately he hasn't done well in first class cricket. So I feel it's very very vital for him to, if he gets an opportunity this season, if not the next season. I think those 1 or 2 seasons are very vital for him, because Mumbai cricket, there's a lot of youngsters, or so many good players, so many good batsmen that are coming through at the moment. So he needs to find his mark in domestic circuit.
I'm sure once he cracks the code, there'll be no stopping him. I'm sure of that because he's shown that ability to get big runs when he was young as well. Now, talking about the junior cricketers' transition into senior cricket, what are the challenges do you think they face, and where is it they got to really spruce up?
I think lot of it depends on the how the seniors treat you. I feel WV lot of, because when you're playing at age level, when you're playing under 19 cricket, under 16 cricket, you got all your friends and you come along playing under 16 cricket with them, and the same bat goes into under 19. But when you get into the Ranji Trophy, there's very few friends of yours. There's a lot of seniors, and obviously the seniors sometimes feel very insecure that this is the guy who probably takes my place, so they make a life a little bit difficult for that youngster. So I feel that is where the youngster needs to be very smart, and he needs to have that mental ability which you spoke at first. And that is where I feel it separates the boys from the men. How you handle those situations. Once you handle those situations, and hopefully you get few runs and few wickets, and you taste a bit of success, then there's no stopping you. But sometimes I feel you know that atmosphere makes it a little hard for that youngsters to prosper.
How was Wasim Jaffer treated when he first burst into the first class scenario?
I was treated well. I can't complain, to be honest. When I moved into the first class circuit, or when I played my first Ranji Trophy, they were all stalwarts in the Mumbai Ranji team. Sanjay Manjrekar was my captain, Vinod Kamli, Amol Muzumdar, Salil Ankola, Paras Mamre. So you name it, and there's 11 match winners or 11 superstars in the team. Sachin, as and when he was available, he was there. So you feel a little odd, in front of them. But that, like I said, you need to taste the success at the start straight away. If you don't, then obviously that doubts come in, and life becomes a little bit difficult. You start doubting your game. You start doubting that whether you belong at this level. So a lot of it depends. For you to perform really well at the start of your first class career, and then life becomes a little easy for you.
You didn't waste any time, did you? You got a triple century in your second game.
Yeah, I was fortunate. I was fortunate that I got 300 and kind of cemented my place, and I had a bit of the breathing space for that.
The Mumbai school of batting has undergone a sea change of late. Obviously, things change. People have to evolve because of various formats that they have to play in one season. What are the changes that you see that has taken place, especially in the Mumbai school of batting?
I think it's quite an obvious change, the way people play in the IPL, or the way the cricket is moving. So that same kind of batsmanship has come into Mumbai cricket as well. There's no, you are not going to find another probably Sanjay Manjrekar or another Amol Muzumdar or another Wasim Jaffer for that matter. And they shouldn't follow us too, because nowadays you need to hit sixes, you need to bat at certain strike rates. So you're bound to play a little aggressively, and there's nothing wrong. And the kind of batsmen that are coming through, Prithvi Shaw, Shreyas Iyer, Surya Kumar Yadav, they are fantastic players. Obviously, they are not old school, but they are fitting into all three formats. And like I said, people like Pujara, you are not going to see another Pujara forever. Uh, so there's nothing wrong in it. Like I said before, you need to fit into all three formats, and you need to make your game to fit into all three formats. Whether you are a bowler or whether you are a batsman. If you are a bowler, you need to have those variations. You need to have that ability to bowl in all situations, whether with the new ball, whether in the death. If you are a batsman, you need to be able to play in T20. You need to be able to bat the whole day if required in a test match. And you've got examples of Virat Kohli, Joe Root, Steve Smith, Steve uh, Mitchell Stark, Rabada, and for the bowlers. So you need to follow on those footsteps. So there's nothing wrong in that if they are playing in this manner.
Does the kangali in Mumbai still hold the same charm as it used to?
It used to, but unfortunately, the rains, hamper the tournament to happen properly, because nowadays the monsoon goes into the October, even in the November month. So it doesn't happen the way it used to happen. And I sometimes feel that, whether I have said in many of my interviews that, do we need to play Kangali? Because there's no tournament that happens where the wickets are uncovered. Obviously, there is definitely certain benefits of playing Kanga League, that it makes you a street smart player, and obviously it makes you play in the tough situations, because you are not going to get a lot of boundaries in those high grasses. Teams doesn't score more than 100, so it makes you a lot tougher. But nowadays, with monsoon being so delayed, there's hardly any matches that goes on. But I feel that Kanga League obviously uh, helped a lot of youngsters in my time to become a lot of street smart cricketers that you get, or the Khadoos kind of cricketers that you get from Mumbai because of that.
You've played in different decades against many, many oppositions. And what are the changes you noticed in domestic cricket?
Obviously, the batsmanship, I feel, the batsmanship has changed. The importance of playing the sessions, importance of playing for hours that we used to, that is obviously has gone because of the times that we are living in. I feel the obvious change would be the quality of spin bowling. I feel that has definitely come down. And the mentality of the bowlers also, I feel nowadays the mentality of the bowlers. I feel is to restrict the runs rather than taking the wickets. In my time, the spinners or even the fast bowlers, they were always after the wickets, no matter at what situation they were bowling in. But nowadays, I feel the bowlers doesn't want to obviously flight the ball, and they haven't got that skill. Also, they don't develop that skill because they feel that they don't need that kind of skill to play because most of the bowlers play shorter formats, so they don't develop that skill. Uh, so obviously, once you don't have that skill, then you're only, in your mind, you're only about restricting the flow of runs, and then hoping that the batsman makes a mistake. So that is the obvious change I felt. Obviously, the fielding has gone to another level. The fitness has gone to another level. I think fast bowling has definitely improved. A lot of you see a lot of bowlers bowling at 140 clicks. That has definitely improved. I feel the standard of first class cricket has improved also. I feel we are playing on quite a few sporting tracks nowadays, and BCCI is going in the right direction with neutral curators and all of that. And I feel that is a good way of moving into the right direction. Uh, I played first class up until last year, and I felt it's going in the right direction. A lot of new teams are into Group D, and they are not mixing with the elite teams, and I feel it's in the right hands, the first class cricket.
Talking of spinners' efficacy, now you've been a captain yourself, you handle spinners, you've seen other captains handle the spinners. Do you think they're doing a good job of handling the spinners? Because it's very vital that the spinners enjoy the confidence of their captain.
Definitely, I feel a lot of captains, lack in that department. They want the instant results. They want the flow of the runs, to be in control. And I feel sometimes the spinners, don't benefit from that. I feel a lot of youngsters coming into first class cricket, they need brave captains, to lead them. And somewhere I feel we lose a kind of a talent because the captain doesn't support that kind of a bowler, or probably the coach doesn't like that kind of a bowler. So you need to have a good captain to develop a good young spinner. I feel you need that backing from the captain to flight the ball, or even if you go for runs, you are okay. You need that tap on the shoulders that it's okay. You can get hit. You need to be a bit of brave. So yeah, you need that captain if you are a young spinner.
It's not a malady that is seen at, let's say, the first class level. I think this is something that needs to be addressed at the junior level, isn't it? Making the spinners feel that they would go for runs. It doesn't matter. They need to develop the skills.
Definitely, I feel like under 14, under 16 level, that is where the mindset, you improve your mindset about, flighting the ball. I mean, obviously, you're not going to flight the ball in T20 cricket, but at least in days cricket, you need to, make the bowlers think that, how you're going to take the wickets. It's not only you are going to hit the pads and take the wickets. You can also get him out, getting out at short leg. If you are an off spinner, if you are a left arm spinner, leg spinner, you can get them out in the slips, in the extra cover. And I feel a lot of youngsters don't think in that way. So it is very, very vital for the captains, for the coaches, for the youngsters to make sure they develop these skills.
It's not a difficult thing because the one good thing about our domestic circuit is that the kids at the under 16 level play only the duration game. So there is every opportunity available to make them develop their skills and not worry about giving away runs.
Definitely. I mean, like I said, the juniors don't need to play, shorter formats. I feel at least till they reach 14 or 15, they need to play days cricket more and develop that basic of the game. Once they develop that basic, that then everything else can be taken care of. But once they start playing, 20 over cricket or 50 over cricket, then obviously uh, their mind is only working at scoring runs and stopping the flow of runs or stopping the runs. So they don't think in those directions.
How are you enjoying coaching in different formats?
I've just got into to it, WV. So hopefully, I enjoyed. I've enjoyed being as a mentor when I was playing for Mumbai and even for Vidarbha. Coaching, I've just taken up. I've worked with Kings 11. I've worked with Bangladesh under 19s, and now I've taken up Uttarakhand. So I have a bit of passion after playing cricket. I like to work with youngsters. I like to help people and see them prosper as a players and as a human being. So hopefully I'll enjoy it. So far, it's been good.
I'm sure you'll do a good job because you got the experience, you got the temperament, you got the right attitude. You like to take up responsibility for the careers of the cricketers. I'm sure you'll definitely do well. You've been a great source of inspiration, rather, as a player, and you will continue to do so as a coach in the future as well. What would be your advice to the budding cricketers of the country?
I think, like I said, W, I think the most important thing is to anybody who's playing first class cricket to 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 adapt to all three formats. I mean, nowadays I feel that is the most challenging thing, uh, and not just encourage yourself to playing white ball cricket, and that is my only worry. Because I see a lot of youngsters avoiding first class cricket and avoiding that grind of bowling 20 overs, bowling 25 overs, or batting for the whole day, or being in the field 4 days. They kind of avoid it, especially when there is a T20 tournament coming up and things like that. So I feel they need to have that right mindset. I feel that is very, very vital, and adapt yourself, adapt your game to all these three formats. That is very, very vital. And there's after that, you need to work hard. You need to work on your skills, and there's so many good examples of Virat Kohli, what he was, you know, prior to 2011, 12, and what he has become after that. So if you put your mind to it, if you work hard enough, you can achieve your goals. So that is the only advice I can give them.
I want Wasim Jaffer to engage in a bit of fantasy now. How many hundreds in your first class career will you exchange for a T20 100?
uh, if it's an IPL 100, then I can give away my 4 or 5 hundreds of first class cricket, because it,
Okay,
it can give me it can give me a contract of maybe 4 or 5 crores. So I don't mind that.
fair enough, fair enough. Thanks a lot, Wasim. It was delightful chatting to you and very nice of you to come at such short notice and share your thoughts on various aspects of cricket. And once again, I wish you all the very best for the forthcoming season with the team that you're handling now.
Thank you, W. It was indeed a pleasure to be here, and it was great having a chat with you.
Cheers. Take care.
Thank
That was Wasim Jaffer. Like his batting, he was very quick to handle whatever was thrown at him, and he was playing with a straight bat as he did while he was batting for the various teams that he was a part of. So until I meet up with you all next time, take care and stay safe.